Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Eddie. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you're able to take a few minutes to talk with me because a couple of things have happened just in the last few days. Um, the Our commissioner, John King, has issued a directive and a consumer alert. I want to get your opinion, okay, and some guidance for the independent agents here in Georgia. Now, here's the first one. This is the consumer alert. Um, what Commissioner King is saying is that Allstate is going to do a 25% increase on their auto insurance. That's on top of a increase that was done earlier this year. He says in his consumer alert that it's for an increase of 40% just in the last calendar year. And the reason they're able to do it is for something called file and use. Um, what happens, and this is it goes ahead and tells everybody what it is. It doesn't affect minimum limits, but then again, it's my understanding that the vast majority of all state policyholders do not carry just minimum limits. So, in fact, I don't even know if they'll sell it minimum limits. I don't know, but I suspect they would not even quote it. So the rate increase is going to be effective for new policyholders on September the 16th, and which is just 3 weeks away. And then again, the increase on renewals for existing policyholders beginning on October the 16th. The interesting thing about all of this is the last paragraph in this consumer alert. Uh, Commissioner King is saying the Office of Commissioner of Insurance encourages Georgia policyholders to reach out to Allstate to discuss the reasons for the increase and the options available to them. Allstate, and he goes ahead and shows Allstate can be reached by telephone, and he gave the telephone number, online, and he gave the website, or Twitter, uh, and he gave the Twitter feed. So with that, that's one of the two things I wanted to discuss. Now, the other I wanted to discuss is, again, just in the last few days, our commissioner has issued a directive. This directive is to all insurance companies, brokers, and agents selling, soliciting, or negotiating surplus lines insurance. And he goes on to say that it's come to his attention that some surplus lines insurers and brokers are collecting fees in violation of the Georgia Unfair Trade Practices Act. And if he catches anyone doing that, then he's imposing a penalty of up to $5,000 for each and every act. Okay. Now, those are the two things I want to talk about. So let me just open this up to where we're looking at each other. So, number one, Bill, um, you understand, or rather, of course, you understand, and I hope I explained it well enough about how the file and use works and why the Allstate can do this because they're perfectly legal at this time. I do know that the bulletin, or not, I'm sorry, the consumer alert that Commissioner King is going to be talking with the legislature about somehow closing that loophole. But it won't happen this time, and it won't happen for a while. So, what do you recommend the independent insurance agents of Georgia to do in reaction to this rate increase? And I'm not talking about the ones that represent Allstate. I'm talking about the ones that do not represent Allstate.
Well, obviously, the phones are going to be ringing off hook. And as a policyholder myself with Allstate, I might be making some phone calls myself. But I would say the independent agents need to brace for the phone calls to ring and make sure they've got every market available to them that they can possibly have to replace some of that business. Because obviously, 25% is a big number. And if that's coming on top of 14% in March, then yeah, you're looking at 39, 40%. And that's just a big number. Not to mention, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago about Safeco canceling contracts, so that's going to have some phones ringing too. So yeah, I would just encourage anybody to reach out to me because we've got Travelers, we've got Safeco, we've got Hippo. We've got openly a number of homeowners markets, and not to mention all the commercial stuff that we have. But anyway, yeah, right now it's kind of a crazy time in Georgia. Not as crazy as Florida, but it's still it's a pretty crazy time. And I was really surprised. I was talking to a guy down in Brunswick earlier this week, and he was the one that told me that Allstate had a 25% rate increase, and I'd already contacted the department. They're like, well, there's no way they're going to get that. And then all of a sudden they did the file and use, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. But yeah, like I say, I'm an Allstate policyholder myself, so
Well,
and not minimum limits either.
yeah, the same way. I look at it as an opportunity knocking because it's been rarer in the past where that the business doesn't move around and churn like it did many years ago. So this is going to cause a ripple, and I really recommend that agents go ahead and be proactive by getting like speaking with you about carriers that would be competitive. And also, I'm recommending that the agents go ahead and put together some sort of again, proactive notice ad campaign. I do know that, in fact, I can teach people how to do it, how to actually target Allstate policyholders and say something along the lines of, are you ready for the 25 another rate increase, or are you going to be effective? Why don't you contact me? So that's my take on it, that it is opportunity knocking.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this is maybe just the beginning. You probably remember, I think it was around 2016 when carriers started pulling out left and right.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, there weren't many carriers left writing. At this point, it was non-standard auto business. But I mean, uh, I think we're going to see some of that homeowners field too, especially on the coastal areas.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for independent agents to capture some of that business. And a lot of these guys are going to own their own business too, so you might have some commercial opportunities out there as well.
Well, now that brings up another point, because again, we were discussing a moment ago about the unauthorized fees for excess and surplus lines, which of course is almost always commercial lines. Sometimes, but your company also has admitted carriers that that a person wouldn't have to go through excess and surplus lines, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a ton of commercial companies for GL property and workers' comp. So I mean, do bots, all that stuff all day long on admitted paper, so you don't have to mess with the E&S markets.
Well,
Now, although we do have E&S markets too, though. So let me
sure.
clarify.
Yes, I know you do. In fact, you can just about, well, there's no question, you can write everything. I have yet to see anything you couldn't quote and write. Okay.
Me too. And we're actually writing some stuff in Europe right now. I
Europe.
didn't even know we could do that. So
Charlie's he's an entrepreneur without question. Well, my friend, how are they going to contact you if they want to talk?
best way to contact me is my phone, 404-358-2232. Again, that's 404-358-2232. Feel free to text me. You can email me at Bill, that's BILL, at nationalinsgrp.com. Those are the two best ways to reach me. So anyway, but yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for some of these independents out here to grab some of that captive business and and then hopefully grow commercially too.
Well, I'm going to send this little discussion out to everybody under the heading of opportunity knocking. And so there we go. Well, thanks again for talking with me. And I know that you're really staying close to what's going on in the industry. So whenever you know of something else, let me know and let's talk about it. Okay.
Oh, always a pleasure.
All right. You have a good day.
All right. You too, Eddie. Thank you now.